Okay, my intent is to do this and try to lift it off that way and lift it straight up now that I have this out of the way. Do you see what I'm saying? And a 2x4 looks like it's going to be too much. And I got my crowbars here and stuff. In fact, I could maybe use a 2x4 and do this, but I'm feeling that I've got a lot of pressure forcing into the wall, and I don't want to bang a hole through the wall. So I've got to figure out with all my stuff, what do I want to do? Okay, maybe I run my hammer down. That's about the right height, right there. And I don't know. Maybe I can just see. I'm trying to just pull it right off the wall by pushing it up. Now that I have the plywood all out of here, or the tile all out of here in the concrete, and I don't know. I'm gonna try some different ways here. Maybe I can put something under, like right there. Look at that. You see that? I pulled it off, and I didn't damage the wall at all. I'm going to have to take a putty knife, a thick one, and I might be able to. I'm hoping to be able to scrape this stuff off without digging holes into the wall, you know. And I may have to see if I can't do something to try to pull that stuff off too. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not going to mess with that too much just yet. I may have to chisel it off, but you see that first piece? It came off pretty good just by forcing it. How did I do that now? I kind of forget how I did that. Well, I'm not even in all the way. I'm not even hitting the wall yet. Look at that. This time, lots of that, all the glue stayed on the back side of this. So, look at, that's pretty good, huh? I didn't dig a hole through that at all, because, I mean, how else are you going to get those off? If you tried to dig your crowbar in here and try to pry on it, you're going to start poking holes in the sheetrock, and you're not going to be able to get in there. And as you're digging in, you're actually digging into the sheetrock and creating holes sideways and all that. So this is just about right. If anything, it's just a hair too thick on certain tiles here. Just barely going under the tile, and I don't have to go that far, right? Put this under there. You got to make that noise to get that off. See all that glue on there? And granted, there's still some pieces. If I can't flake that off, with a putty knife, you know, like a thick putty knife or even a thin one. Here I got a little bit thinner one. And this is my crummy one, and I just don't think I'm going to be able to do that without digging into the sheetrock. So I'm going to have to come up with a way to get those off, and I may have to use a chisel and scrape it off, slide it off, because the less holes in the sheetrock, the less patching I'm going to have to do, right? Okay, there we go. See if it was sticking any more than that, I'd be knocking a hole through the wall. Okay? So a little bit at a time, and you know, that's way better than all kinds of holes in there, because then you're going to have to put webbing tape on there, quick set, 2 coats of quick set, sheetrock mud, skimming mud, and all that. But I don't really have to concern myself too terribly much about this top line. Initially, I was going to have the guys who are installing the counter, I was going to use that same quartz material as a backsplash, and I was going to tell them to make it just a hair taller than what the existing was, and that way after the countertop went in, they could use a backsplash that was maybe a 1/4 inch higher than that all the way around. That would have looked pretty good, right? We were planning on doing that initially. Then we got into questions about, okay, well, if we do that, we're still going to have the sheetrock showing there. And if we do that, where the stove is, it'd be nice that we didn't just stop it here and have sheetrock there. Then we thought it would be nice if we had the backsplash stop there, and then a full piece, actually one that went down lower below the stove. There's a notch in the stove. And it doesn't have a back plate on it, so this same quartz material that we were going to install on the counter, we're going to use on the floor, on the wall, and then have it where the stove is, have it start here, and then have it go up to the bottom of the microwave, and then drop back down, and that. But that was giving them some questions, because the microwave is not here yet. You've got to install the new microwave so that you know how high that piece needs to go. You need to have the stove here so that you know how low you can go, where the notch of the stove on the back, that thing is going to go about to there. Then this pushes there and down to there, and the stove is nice and flush, and the stove's not here, and it was going to be a real mess. Like, okay, well, they would have to install the counters, and then they can install the backsplash from here to there, from there to there. Then they would have to come back after we put the new microwave in, after the stove came in. Then they would have to pull the stove out of the way, measure that, prep it. They can't even measure it yet until the new microwave's installed, until the stove is here. Then they'd have to pull the stove out of the way on our nice floor and measure, and then order the material, and then a month down the road come back, pull the stove back out, install that, and be done. Well, we didn't really want to have to mess with all that, so that's why we decided at the last minute, hey, let's not do the backsplash, and let's not do that piece that goes up to the bottom of the microwave and down below the stove. Let's not do that at all. We'll just go and instead of doing that, we'll go and decide and have a nice, some sort of catchy tile after the countertops get in and stuff, and we'll do the tile, you know, with some pattern on it or something, and we'll go from the top of the new quartz countertops up to the bottom of the cabinets, just like most of those TV, the HGTV flipper flop, and you know, the different ones that do it. I've seen them do that a lot, and it just adds something. And I thought, you know, if we want to spice this up a little bit, let's not just have white counters and then just the same countertop material for the little backsplash. You see what I'm saying? So we decided just to forgo that, but I still need to get this nice and flat, and I'll have to clean off the black stuff as much as I can. And then for the low spots, like here, I may put some, see, if that's all it is like that, I may just leave those. Might be able to put some spackle on it or some quickset or something. But see, no matter what I do, that's the back side of the paper that pulled off. Once you get that wet and moist, it bubbles. If you put quickset on, the quickset bubbles. You put spackle on, the spackle bubbles. Sheetrock mud, the sheetrock mud bubbles. And ripples and all that kind of stuff. And so I'll have to decide, once I get all this stuff out, how bad that is, and I'll have enough time to, if I want to put quickset on there, I can put tape on there, I can put the quickset on there, 2 coats of quickset, knock the quickset down after it bubbles. Another thing you can do is you can put shellac finish on there. Sometimes I used to get a can of that spray shellac, and you just spray that over this, and then that seals this, and then it doesn't ripple as much when you put your sheetrock mud on there. You see what I'm saying? But then it stinks up the place, and you know, I think I may end up just patching all that stuff with quickset and stuff. I mean, I could, if I get it all down like that, I could actually leave it like that. But then my thinking is, when I get ready to put tile, I don't necessarily want it like that, because when you put your glue on the tiles, that glue in these areas may have a tendency to not stick, and then it's going to bubble this stuff up, and then it's going to be loose here, loose there, loose there, loose there, loose there, loose there. And if you got a seam right there, that's not going to be good either. So I think I'm going to end up putting quickset on there, and I'm good with doing that, and that way I can have that all ready prior to the installers coming. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep doing that. You think I got lucky with those 3? Man, that was pretty good, wasn't it? Getting those off that way. And you could never have done that if you don't take all the stuff off here first, right? Let's see. Let's see if I can do that again. Now see, it almost seems like it's getting a little less and a little less. And I'm not sure. I may have to use my crowbar this time and do it in the middle. And if that doesn't work, do it at both ends, and then it might loosen up a little bit. See, it's not wanting to go. And what's probably going to happen is it'll crack, and then it'll be harder to get off in pieces. It's not wanting to go now. There it is. Get that. Wow. And so far so good, right? And I guess I could take my hammer and try to get those pieces off. Sometimes you just have to try different things, you know, man, that tile's heavy, to get stuff off. Now I'm just using it on the side. I'm not wedging over. I don't want to wedge on the wall. You see what I mean? Ooh. Ooh. There you go. Right into the wall again. But hey, there's a couple marks over there from before, and you're gonna get a few different marks. Okay, but see, so far I don't have any holes in here at all, do I? But I'll still have to patch those. And if I did want to use spackle, like I said, I'd have to put some varnish on there first. If I had a can of it, I could put it on with a crummy paintbrush, 2 coats, or get the spray can, and spray it and let it dry and then hit it again. Then the spackle would stick. And see, like on this, the only part that's going to bubble is right there. Spackle would cover this. There's a little bit of tape there. I'd have to clean that off to make sure the spackle would stick. You see what I'm saying? But in this area, spackle's not going to stick there, or sheetrock mud or quickset or anything on these. Okay. The thing with me putting quickset on there, I would feel like I would need to put some webbing tape, and then you're going to have to float it out and do all that. And now your wall is not nice and flat going straight up. You know what I mean? When you put your tile on there, but it would still be okay. But for the novice, if you wanted to not have to put the tape, then you're not having any bulges. Now you would just have to be mindful of just making it flat with your putty knife on your spackle and stuff. Just remember, you're going to have to seal this sheetrock, because this is the sheetrock backing. If I got that wet right now, it would bubble. You'd have maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 6 or 7 ripples in just this area alone, going this direction. Rippledy, rippledy, rippledy. You see what I mean? Okay, so be mindful of that. Okay, I'm going to keep working, getting this off, and then making sure I get all this stuff off and clean up this black line. Even if I have the remnants of a black line showing left, as long as that's flat, I'll be okay. Okay, so I'm going to keep working on that, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. Okay, that's what it's going to look like when you're done up to this stage. And see, I had to be really careful along here. That's all still flush and stuff, because the tile, I don't want to extend the tile any further than that. In fact, the edge of the cabinet here, I don't know if it sticks out this far. And with the bullnose trim on the course, we'll just have to see where this edge of the tile ends. I don't want it necessarily to end there, do I? Because then the grout line is not gonna fix this. But I'm gonna have to extend the tile at least out to that line. Do you see what I mean? To cover that. And the same with that end over there. And the funny thing, when I was getting this off and pushing down on here, this right here, there's no backing from about here to there. This just pushes down. And it's like those turkeys, whoever installed that, they didn't put backing all the way around there. And see, that particular cabinet is one that fits in the corner like that. It's got a Lazy Susan in there and stuff. And the cabinet end probably doesn't go all the way there. It probably runs short. And then they didn't finish off the little pieces. So when I take this off, I'm going to have to extend, put a little piece of 1x4, a 1x3 pine in there, screw it, glue it to the wall, a little piece there and a little piece there for the backing for the countertop. Enough of that for now, but hey, this is how it's going to look. And it's about 3:30 now, and I started this probably 11 o'clock-ish for just this one little section. So that gives you an idea how long that's going to take. That's if you're trying to save your cabinets and being careful and stuff. That was about 4.5 hours, and I'm gonna knock off for today, get cleaned up a little bit, and rest a little bit, and get ready for my next go tomorrow. So today is Wednesday. I've got this far. So now Thursday. I don't know how far I'll get tomorrow. I probably should make a goal for myself. The goal for myself, and granted, I'll be able to work most of the day. I'll be able to start earlier than 11 o'clock. My goal would be to take all of this out and the backsplash up to around the sink, and leave the sink for Friday to disconnect the sink, disconnect the water, get the faucet out of there, get the garbage disposal out of there, do all that kind of stuff. That way I get most of my dust and everything taken care of tomorrow. And I noticed there's one little spot over there where my plastic got a little bit loose. See? And so before I start tomorrow, I have to remember to kind of roll that back up, put a couple more little pieces, boop, 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 down in there, because I'll be working over there. I'm trying to keep all this dust to a minimum. Now granted, when you get all done, you're gonna have dust in the other rooms and down your hallway and all that kind of stuff. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, because what happens is, even if I would have put masking tape all the way down that side, even if I would have put masking tape all the way down this thing, okay, where I've been going in and out, okay? When you take your plastic down, your plastic, it has dust. This is all dusty now. And the floors, I'll have to sweep up the floors and all that kind of stuff. But when you take the plastic down, you're going to create a little mini hurricane in itself. By just this whooshing down, you can do this as carefully as you can. I don't care how many people you use. You're bound to have some of this dust fly off the backside of the plastic. And as you're rolling up the plastic down on the ground and all that kind of stuff, it's just a given. I don't care what you do, you're gonna have dust everywhere else. So on this floor, when I get all done on the floor, I'm gonna have to sweep it, vacuum it, or dust mop it, wet mop it, you know, something. It did pretty good. You see, there's no real dust on there, and that's just because it got loose up there. Most of it hit this plastic, and I was working on that other counter in the far corner, okay? And so I've kept it to a pretty bare bones minimum, haven't I? And so I'm liking what I've done so far. I've only gone out to the dumpster. Well, I've gone out to the dumpster maybe 5 times, and now I've got this stuff here to go down there maybe 4 or 5 times to the dumpster. No biggie. Okay? And so tomorrow, you see how much there is here. That bit would take me over to about there, and then so I've got about twice as much, almost twice as much to go tomorrow. But my goal will be on Thursday to take all that up, take the trim up around here, because see, there's trim that goes all the way around. I have to be real careful with that. Real careful all the way around there. Real careful taking that backsplash off, scraping that stuff off. See, I got all the clumps off. Do you see any holes? Do you see any holes in the sheetrock? I mean, no matter what you do, you're going to have at least this, depending who installed it, what type of material they use. See, that stuff, they just put globs on the back side of the tiles, and then they did that. And instead of the lines with the trowel, you know, if they would have had lines with the trowel, I don't know. I don't know if it would have come off as easily. Might have come off even harder. I'm not quite sure. But that was the ticket, man. Take all your bottom stuff off first, then use that as a wedge and lift those. You're lifting those up off the wall. You're not pushing them into the wall. You're lifting them off the wall like I did and pop them off there. Okay? All right. Well, that's it for today. Well, that's all I have for this time. But I'll be back with more videos. Ooh.